Good morning, Lompoc.
Good morning, Lompoc.
How's everybody doing this morning?
Has that been a week?
It's been a week.
Man, what a week.
Yeah. It was quite a week. So we have a lot of really good news, fun stuff happening locally here in Lompoc.
Packed show today.
Pretty packed show that we're excited. We've got a lot more video pre-recorded stuff, a lot of interviews with different folks.
Super exciting.
So I do feel like talking about good news is a little tough after a week like this week. I'm sure you've all seen the news, what happened in Beirut. Kind of just unimagineable.
Super traumatic. Yeah.
So overwhelming. So I do want to say, mention our hearts go out to the people of Beirut, and cannot even begin to imagine how they must be dealing already a rough state. But one kind of cool silver lining, because I had to try to search for those. You do see a lot of photos of volunteers, just the people of Beirut coming out and cleaning up. You didn't see a lot of presence from the government, sadly, but you see the people, and I think that's always that's always underlying all the disasters are the humans are really good. There's a lot more good out there than there is bad. So just wanted to say that.
Aside from that, let's talk about what we have for today's show.
Yes, we've got a really packed show. So we've got, we're speaking with Alexander Murkison. He is the 19-year-old that is running for school board here in Lompoc.
Yes. That should be exciting.
Yes. And we're also chatting with Vicki Anderson and Ann Thompson, looking at a few more murals and learning a little bit more about
They should start a comedy troupe as well.
They should. They're really funny
Vicki
together.
Anderson, the Lompoc Mural Society, we're going to show you some really cool murals around Pocket Park, which is in downtown Lompoc today. So
and it's just always so funny. I walk by these murals and I don't really think about the history, and then you get to learn a little bit about them and what they represent. And it's, I think, really fascinating.
Now, I must admit, on this during this mural walk that we did with them, I've flown the drone over it. I've seen the murals from a distance so many times, but being not forced, but following them and seeing the murals up close and realizing the amount of detail that are in some of these is just overwhelming. So don't just walk down the street and glance. Make sure that you step to the side and study some of these murals, because some of the details you'll be shocked that you didn't even know some of that stuff was in there.
Yes,
so anyway,
absolutely.
Looking forward to that.
And then I also made some salt with bran. So we did a little DIY flavored salts. We did some spicy Calabrian salt and hibiscus salt. And these literally take like 5 minutes to make. So
having fun at my expense.
Yes,
obviously.
Absolutely. You were a little busy. So
yeah, well, happens.
All right. But we did want to recap.
We have Miss Elia today, too.
We do have Miss Elia. She's going to talk a little bit about camping, which is a lot of fun. And then we did want to just touch base on the Route 1 Farmers Market.
This past Sunday.
1 second. Oh, it just disappeared for a sec. Route 1 Farmers Market this past Sunday celebrated National. Let's go with national.
And we were
National
talking about this.
Farmers Market Week.
It felt a little bit normal.
It did feel normal.
There's a good group. Everyone, of course, with social distancing.
Yes.
We had live music for a split second with the amazing Jacob Cole. So we put together just a fun video to commemorate National Farmers Market.
Yes. So check out a little bit of normalcy from this last Sunday.
Route 1 Farmers Market in Vandenberg Village. We're at 3745 Constellation Road, and we're open every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're celebrating safely National Farmers Market Week this week. So today is our safe celebration. We have a food truck and we'll have live music. This whole week we'll have fun stuff, giveaways on our Facebook page to celebrate. To provide market match, which means any customer that receives EBT can have their first $10 matched. So a $10 purchase on their EBT card is matched for $10 in Market Match. They get $20 to spend in the market. We're really excited to provide that to our community, especially in these financially stressful times. And we're the only market between San Luis Obispo and Solvang to offer it. So we're thrilled to have that little extra boost that we can get some veggies to our local families.
That was a lot of fun. We had such a good time.
You spent some money.
I spent some money. I got one of those baskets. I think Shelby said she sold out of almost every single one of those.
Mm-hmm.
They're awesome. They're all handmade in Ghana, and just really colorful and beautiful. So it was a really nice little...
we also had lunch there.
Yes.
They had the food truck.
Feed My Soul.
Feed My Soul.
Yes.
Some Korean food. Oh my gosh, that was so good.
Yeah.
Better than I had even expected. So
yes,
that was a lot
and
of
of
fun.
course Jacob Cole was playing. He's always awesome to watch. So it felt a little bit normal. Everybody was socially distanced and spread out. So a really good time. Also this week, and don't forget, they are going to be there again this Sunday. So check them out, get
From
your
10 to 2.
veggies. And like she mentioned, EBT, also used to be known as food stamps. So if you know somebody that might need help and doesn't know about the Route 1 Market, just tell them about Market Match. So if they spend $10, they get $10 extra to spend there at the market.
That's a great opportunity. Literally 100% mark or bonus on that money, so it can help to feed folks here in our valley. That's very helpful.
Very helpful. Yeah. So also the astronauts touched back down.
We showed this I think 2 or 3 months ago. Feels like forever.
Well,
but
I think it was like, wasn't that in June?
It's maybe
it was sometime in June.
But
it?
the SpaceX sent them up to the space station, International Space Station, and this past week, just a couple days ago, they landed in their capsule in the ocean with 4 of these huge parachutes, and they made it home safely. That's kind of amazing.
Kind of a low resolution shot.
This is one of the first shots when they opened the capsule.
And then you have this fun little video.
20 meters off the
Look
ocean.
at that.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. I can't believe that.
From space
Splashdown
to the ocean.
As you can see on your screen, we have visual confirmation for splashdown.
Look at that. It worked.
SpaceX copies and concurs. We see
crazy.
splashdown.
That's amazing. I
and
can't.
mains
That's a first, right?
Dragon
We brought-
Endeavour has
Well,
returned
no,
to home.
we've landed like that
NASA
before, but
astronauts
I
Bob
think
and
we
Doug.
haven't
Half of
in
the
some of my
SpaceX and
space
NASA teams, welcome back to planet Earth.
folks out
Thanks
there.
for flying SpaceX.
I think
Welcome
we
back
haven't
to
done
planet Earth.
we haven't done a water landing since the 70s, as far as I know. So
okay.
somebody, maybe Donnie Savella or Julie Scheringer,
Yeah,
they
she would know.
They might know. Yeah. But since the 70s, looked it up, see if I'm right.
That was really cool.
Yeah, so welcome back, guys.
And then Grocery Outlet. I know we mentioned last week, but they surpassed their goal. That was pretty incredible. At the final total, we did a quick little recap with them. So they're going to give you the final total.
And all I wanted to say is we didn't overproduce this on purpose. We just they are super busy. They are such hard workers. They're doing so many great things for the community. For them to carve out a couple minutes of their busy schedule, we just put a couple cameras in front of them and wanted a quick recap. And congratulations to the entire city of Lompoc. You guys blew this away, and it's because of your efforts that
so awesome.
a lot of our community
Go
gets to
Lompoc.
eat.
You guys showed up, and it's anyways,
Thank you to the
overwhelming.
Crockers.
Thank you so much. Here we go.
Last month was our Independence from Hunger food drive and fundraiser. We do it annually, and this year we had much loftier goals than we have in the past, and we were just blown away.
We spent 5 weeks asking people to donate, running different kinds of events, partnering up with a lot of people, and having a lot of fun while doing it. We had a goal of 10 last year, and we did 13,000, which was incredible. That blew us away that year. This year, at the last second, we raised our goal to $20,000 just because we felt like that's where the need needed to be. Even if we weren't going to reach that goal, it was important to try and shoot for something like that because the food pantry was really in need this year. With everything going on with the pandemic as well, they were just feeding exponentially more families than they were just last year. And last year alone, they fed over 6,000 families, and the number was up something like 30-something% on top of that already this year. Now that we're at we hit $34,000. There's a lot more stuff that we can do with that. We can feed more people. There's some exciting stuff that we're looking forward to announcing next week that is going to just make a huge impact on the food pantry's ability to feed more people.
We were just absolutely blown away this year with the amount of just community members just walking in the front door and saying, here's $300.
Even $1,000 from some of the local businesses. It was Toyota of Lompoc and Dare to Dream Farms both dropping $1,000 towards this campaign.
I think something that we are so proud of this year is our cashiers and their drive this year.
They were hounding people.
They did amazing this year. I think just them alone in store, we did over $20,000.
Almost $20,000.
Almost $20,000.
We had 32.4% of all customers donating for the last 5 weeks. That's basically 1 in 3 customers donating. I think the company average, if you take all the stores' average, is around 7%. It's just a testament to our cashiers working their butts off and to the Lompoc community that comes in here and just kept giving throughout, because we had a lot of repeat shoppers in the last 5 weeks, and that just says that they gave multiple times throughout. Very cool.
That was awesome.
Crazy. And thank you again to the two of them for inviting us to help in a small way with their little what do we call it?
We ran a
telethon.
The telethon.
Got to help launch this off, but we had no idea that the whole thing would just grow and grow and grow, and that the community would step up. Now, I have to say a couple things, and I didn't include it because I didn't want to make Aaron seem to brag too much, although he should.
Let's just rub it in a little bit.
This is incredible. There's close to 400 grocery outlets around the country. 400. Grocery outlet in Lompoc, California came in 3rd of most money raised during this campaign, which is in all the stores. So number 3 out of close to 400.
I think I have to do let's just do.
That's crazy.
Hold on, that was weak, right? Yes.
And on top of that, the average. So for all the stores, the average percentage of what percentage of people are donating that come into the store, the average was 7%. Here in Lompoc, like you mentioned, was 32. 33%, 1 in 3. That is amazing. And that's a testament to our town.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Pretty proud of that.
So awesome. Yeah. So go Lompoc, go Grocery Outlet. Thank you so much, Aaron and Alex. You guys are amazing. Like Lori Jervis said, you guys are the soul of the community. We appreciate you so much. So thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. And then we have our junior anchor who is going to be sharing a little bit with us about camping. She stepped up this week. She got in a little bit of an accident on her bike and got scraped up, but she put herself together and she gave us a little bit of information
and
about
the show must go
camping.
On.
Yes, it's so important. I mean, like
you can't even tell that she.
No, she's in great shape.
So
thank you so much, Miss Alaya.
Good morning, Lompoc. This is Alaya with Fun Fact Friday. Today's theme is camping. We went camping this past weekend and I had a blast. Over 42 million Americans, 14% of the population, go camping each year. Wow, that's a lot of Americans. The 1927 Girl Scout Manual published the first official recipe for s'mores. You can make s'mores without a campfire by using the oven ruler for 2 minutes to toast the marshmallows on a graham cracker. The most popular camping gear purchase is a flashlight. One more fact is that Germans love to camp. Mostly, they bring their Uno cards with their family too. Germans mostly camp in France or Italy. Next is school. That's all for Fun Fact Friday. See you next week.
So I'm definitely going to be making s'mores tonight. We've got a little campfire, but if we're lazy, we might do it in the broiler like she mentioned. Yeah. I think that was a good idea. Thank you, Miss Alaya.
Can you have s'mores for breakfast?
I think so.
Any responses out there?
Graham crackers are technically a cereal food, I think. And so
they're in our old triangle, the pyramid thing, I think.
Yeah. And then the marshmallows, I mean, I guess those are just sparingly, right?
Well, if you must, but I tend to be generous.
So thank you so much. I found that very interesting. So, yeah.
Okay, Mrs. Ball, where are we going
All right.
next?
So we are talking with Alexander Murkison, or do we want to go to the mural next?
I think we should talk to Alexander Murkison.
Okay.
So, Alex, again, I tried to look this up yesterday to just see, like, who's the youngest person in maybe the state of California or anywhere to run for school board. I couldn't necessarily get a definitive answer, but I would like to think that this guy is in the top 1, 2, or 3 because he's 19 years old.
Yeah.
He was just the high school class president for his 11th and 12th grade.
Yep.
Here he is a few months out, and he's like thrown himself right back into politics and trying to make a difference with mental health here at the school district. So.
And one thing he mentioned to us too is like he is a data guy, so he like basically like looks at data, and that's something that really fascinates him. I think he said he works over in Los Olivos at Midland, and he focuses on the data there. So he's really great with numbers, which I don't think we got a chance to include in the video because we were rushing to get everything done this morning. But
we had a great conversation yesterday,
Yes.
and I wish we could have just the whole show could have been that because he is so fired up and so focused on something that affects kids in my town. That is so exciting and important. So thank you, Alex.
Yes.
We're excited to have you running in the school district here.
Here we go.
I was born here in Lompoc in 2000. I'm 19 years old. I've lived here all my life almost. I moved away for 3 years. Came back in 2011 and just been here ever since.
So between 11 and 19, what happens that gets you fired up to want to represent people?
So it actually all came down to, I ran for school president, I guess you can call it, in elementary school in sixth grade. And then kind of chilled off from that for a bit, and 8th grade came around. That's when I had a whole mindset change. I was a web leader. Web stands for Everybody Belongs. It's a 8th grade. It's a program in middle schools for 8th graders to help with the transition. And I was also on the school site council. And ever since then, I kind of had this thing of wanting to help and be a part of something that benefits others. And then the end of sophomore year, I went to my friends. I was like, I think I want to run for class president. And they were like, oh, okay. And I was class president for my 11th and 12th grade, and graduated high school and decided I'd take a year off probably, and or a few years off. I was talking with Lene Houck and Isaiah, and I was like, I think I want to run for city council. Decided that wasn't what I wanted to do, and then I wanted to run for school board, which was a great idea because I was already on the school board as a student rep, and I'm just so passionate about helping, the youth and wanting to be a part of that, and so that's how we ended up here. We launched the campaign like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and we've just been running ever since.
Tell me about the morning when you wake up and you're either digital or the newspaper, your front page news. I mean, did it get real then? Or?
It did. So I wasn't expecting things to move that fast. And then seeing the article and seeing how he took my vision and what I told him and just wrote something so amazing. And for me to see what I believed in be put down on paper, that everyone knew that's what I was doing, it was definitely kind of emotional for me. But everyone's been really excited. I've received an extreme amount of support, which is good for me because I was worried about being so young.
Sure.
And a lot of people reached out and just believe in the story, believe in the vision. And so that's been an amazing.
Paint a picture for our local school district and some of the challenges with regard to mental health that you're wanting to address, or at least bring to the forefront of the discussion.
Yeah. So mental health has always been a big thing for me. Seeing some friends who were struggling with some things, and kind of seeing how there were not a lot of resources in schools for kids who are struggling with mental health. I spent a lot of time talking with Lene Houck about why so many students weren't coming to counselors and why they weren't going to see therapists, or why we had the problem where a lot of kids were depressed and sad, and expressed that. They say the counselor ratio should be 250 kids for every one counselor. In our district, we see numbers very close to 400 or 400 plus for every one counselor. I think a lot of people, when they think of a counselor, because I was shocked, they think that they help students with any problems they're having on campus and they make their schedule for them. That's how people see counselors. That's how I see counselors. But there's a whole nother backside of that. School counselors, they do run the scholarship situation. They do all the testing stuff. Each counselor has a caseload of students they have to deal with, and they also have like 20 tasks that they have to get through and deal with throughout the entire year. And they're not like, I can just check this off and be done in 5 minutes. It takes the entire school year. And so I didn't know that. Didn't know the counselor ratio either. So seeing that we are almost 200 students over the ratio. It's shocking. And seeing how we have like one or two psychologists at the Lompoc High School. And seeing how there were so many issues that kids were going through and that they were not being overlooked sounds negative, but they weren't overlooked, but no one knew because students knew that counselors were overworked or counselors didn't have the time, the resources, the bandwidth to not deal with that, but to provide as much support as they needed. And I feel like not only a lot of kids, they bond they feel comfortable going to someone and telling about their problems. They bond with them, and they have a connection with them. And when you are 450 kids on a caseload and you have 30 other tasks to do, you miss so many opportunities to bond with someone because you are trying to make connections with students, but you have so many kids in and out of your office, and then you have all these things that you are supposed to do on the back end of being a counselor. And so there's so many connections that are missed, so many kids with mental health problems that are not addressed. So when she started telling me these things, I was like, oh, this is a problem. We need to make something happen about it.
Let's fast forward 5 years. It's a quarter of your life.
Yeah.
Say 5 years from now, as you're looking back and you're in that moment in the vacuum and you're thinking, I'm so glad that we accomplished X. What is that? What would you love to say, we got that done?
Really figuring out the mental health situation in the schools. That's a big thing. It's not just one school, it's so many schools. I spoke with a mom yesterday. She's a military mom, and she's having some situations with her kids, and she is so passionate and understands there's mental health problems in Lompoc and understand in her district and in Lompoc as well. I want to be able to look back and see that we've made progress towards fixing the mental health problem, that we've helped with the counselor ratios. We've gotten more school-based therapists, school-based social workers on campuses to help students that are struggling with things at home or at school or just personally. I want to be able to look back and just realize that I not only spoke about the mental health problem that we have in town, and I didn't just speak about it, but I made a difference in working towards that.
Thank you so much, Alex. I think that was a really, I had no idea when it came to the number of counselors to the number of students in that ratio. And he did mention, but we obviously couldn't include everything, but how, obviously students have a connection with their teachers. And, some students have a really great connection with their teachers, but not all teachers are equipped to deal with mental health challenges.
And you kind of talked about that, kind of that unfortunate cycle where you have a teacher who isn't necessarily trained in that, but their job when they notice there's an issue or they need to help a student is to pass them on to a counselor. And then when that happens, that's that vicious cycle where the counselors are maybe overworked or just don't have the time to divide themselves into so many pieces to help these kids. So anyway, he's so thoughtful, and oh my gosh, he's 19 years old, and speaking about things that are so heavy and that weigh upon the lives of everyone. He was motivated, sadly inspired to go for this as a close friend of his committed suicide last year. It was very hard on the whole school, and the school stepped up during those couple of weeks to provide support, but he just realized that throughout the year there was kids that had passed and there isn't that constant support available. So anyway, I'm very hopeful, and I wish him the best, and I'm so grateful that he took time to talk with us about that.
Absolutely.
So, good luck to him.
Once again, his quote about, kids should be involved with things that affect kids. Wasn't that the quote? Something to that effect.
Yeah. He's amazing.
Yeah,
well, good luck to him, and thanks again for joining our show.
Thank you for chatting with us. And I did want to point out that they were 6 feet apart and outside. So I know they weren't wearing masks, but 6 feet apart outside. So
thank you.
Just in case. So next we chat with Vicki and Anne about the murals. We went over to Pocket Park and checked out kind of those, a few in that little corner there, right? So we're going to have them on next. I think they're going to have their own comedy show here soon. So thank you guys so much for...
It's another mural in the day. It's about what they call the Great Floral Flag. And this was done in 1941 by the Bodger, some of the flower seed industry people that were here when Lompoc was still considered the flower seed capital of the world back in 1941, definitely. But they created that giant flag as a tribute to all the soldiers and people serving in World War II. And it was composed of mostly, I believe, larkspur, white and blue and red larkspur. I can't remember how much territory it covered. It was huge. If you went up to Lookout Point, and looked down over the valley, you got the best view of it. And did it again in 43, 45, 1952 during the Korean War, and then it was recreated again in 2002, which has been the most popular and the viewed version of it. Art Mortimer, that's worked with us many times and did the first commissioned mural, the flower industry one, was the master artist on this one. He's still thriving as an artist and doing mural projects himself. He lives in 29 Palms now.
James M. Ray. Right there, missing in action.
I think I'm downhill. I think you should be downhill, so I'm taller. Well, we're in this so-called pocket park that could use some help. And this is the Price of Freedom mural. This was a commissioned mural. We had one individual artist that won the honor of doing this mural. His name was Alicio Silva. He came up with the winning concept. This is a metal-clad building. And it's rather high.
It's 25 feet high and 100 feet long.
It represents all the conflicts the United States was involved in the 20th century.
15 different conflicts are
represented
here.
It's the feathers of the eagle, right?
Yes, each feather represents a different war, and they're listed at the bottom of the mural. His reason for doing that was to kind of give you an idea of how equipment changed over the years and improved and stuff. And he also silhouetted some of the images to give it a little more powerful impact. Just come up and check it out because it's just beautiful, beautiful.
And this little corner over here, they represents Lompoc with an overview of some of the flower fields and the mission and a rocket going off.
Yes.
And this one was, when it was completed, it was a big deal. We had a big dedication ceremony with all the veterans marching and band and everything.
I just remember hearing that Alicio was afraid of heights. And I think I did a good job on the way that she's got high cheekbones. She looks like Loretta Young, don't you think?
Kind of a mean little mouth, though.
Yeah, she's not.
This is called Fields of Gold. It was a mural in a day in
2004.
2004. I got to check those dates. I'm confused. So it was painted by a group of artists in one day. The master artist was Colleen Cronister. Most everybody knows that we were the flower seed capital of the world for a number of years. But also in our past, in Lompoc's past, we were the mustard capital of the world, basically.
And we produced 99% of the mustard seed in the world. We produced 26.5 million pounds in 1886. That was considered the heyday, but then in 1935, it was 35 million. But then, of course, in 1940, right around that timeline is when Montana started getting into growing mustard seed.
And the mustard was used for all sorts of, for mustard, but also during World War I for the mustard gas and stuff. So I can imagine what the hills around here used to look like at that period of time. Because it's so much mustard here in the spring anyway. The interior scene of this is kind of a representation of the harvesting of the mustard plants, I suspect around the turn of the century, from the clothing and stuff. This went on to 1930. And all the references are usually from sources that were local from the Historical Society that we get to give the artist to use to make their design.
This one is on our hit list. It needs to be brightened up a little bit. It's really faded.
Well, and all the yellows turn green, so.
Yeah.
We have a bucket list of murals that we have coming up that need some form of restoration. Not maybe a total one, but at least a definite touch-up. And we're hoping when things pick up that we'll find more volunteers and more fundraisers.
Thank you both so much.
That's kind of crazy. I had no idea about the mustard.
I know. Can you imagine your allergies come April if they were growing mustard as a crop here in Lompoc?
Can you imagine that this place, according to them, was providing 99% of mustard to the world?
That's crazy.
And now we're providing other things to the world. Such as cannabis now has overtaken mustard.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we like to grow things here.
We do. It's a place that grows things very well.
We're definitely an agricultural area for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Interesting history. And we love Vicki and Ann, and together they're sort of unstoppable.
They are a lot of fun. So obviously, if you have time and you're artistic, volunteer. And even if you're not artistic, volunteer. They always need people to help. Even if it's just, there's a lot of upkeep that goes with the murals. So pulling weeds, just making sure there's no graffiti on them. They want to keep them looking nice so that we can enjoy them. And then when we get tourism back again someday, hopefully very soon, they can enjoy them too. So
yeah, just think as people come into downtown and they're shopping, just being able to walk by and enjoy and learn about history from this local place, it's an invaluable thing that we have here. So we want to definitely preserve it and keep it going for a long time.
Yeah, Katie, I think I saw your thing. I think it probably is. It is now, but it is a native species, I think, too. And it just kind of takes over. But I know that the Chumash used to use mustard as well. So, but I guess the mustard that we were growing was an English mustard. So that could be the new invasive species, basically. Yeah. But there was another mustard or something before too. So, anyways,
that was fascinating. I learned a lot. Yeah.
So our last little segment here, we got to make some salt. Brad has used salt before in his cocktails, and we've done some flavored salts before, and somebody asked how to make them, but I had purchased them.
So let me get this right.
Yeah.
I take off for a little bit, and then all of a sudden you decide to jump into a Brad video. How does that work, Michelle?
Well, Brad didn't know how to make salt by himself.
Well, okay. Well, you're so helpful.
I am.
I've been trying to learn to make salt for a long time, but anyway.
Nobody wants to watch
We'll talk about it later. So.
All right. So this was, please forgive my editing skills on this. This was...
we stayed up late last night.
It was a quick job here this morning, so... This...
Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Brad. Thanks for finally joining us.
So sorry. I'm late.
You're always late.
I've been working so hard.
Oh, really?
Well, that reminds me. I got paid, and I was. Jeremy told me rent was due.
It is due.
And I have some for you.
You're a slacker.
Don't want it to be awkward. Get this out of the way. Let me count us here. Let's see.
What is that?
Salt. You said we were talking about salt, and I read that salt was used as a currency. You like salt, you're gonna make salt. I thought why not pay you in salt?
That is worth like 10 cents.
Really? Okay, fine.
Okay, so today we're gonna be making some flavored salts. So you can buy these at the store. They're usually lots of money, but you can make them at home very easily.
Okay.
And we've actually purchased some fancy salts before, but it's kind of stupid now because now I'm just gonna make them.
Wow, okay.
So you take any kind of dried ingredient and then you mix it with, guess what?
Salt.
Yes!
Yes!
Good one. So you can also dry your own ingredients. We dried some fresh parsley, basil, and some lemon zest along with a little bit of rosemary.
Okay.
And then we had some dried Calabrian chilies.
Ooh, that's spicy. Okay.
And then we have some dried hibiscus.
Okay.
So I thought we'd make a lemon parsley basil salt.
That's the vegetable one.
The vegetable one, yes.
Okay.
Yes, but it'd be really good on things like any kind of protein, chicken, salmon would be delicious with it. And then I thought that either the spicy chili one or the hibiscus one, you can maybe up your game a little bit and use them in a cocktail.
Oh, well, no pressure, but since I didn't bring rent, that's the least I can do.
At least.
Which one are we going to do first?
So let's start by pulverizing our ingredients. I have a coffee grinder that is basically devoted just to grinding spices. We're going to do our hibiscus salt first.
Okay.
It's kind of got a sour, sort of tangy flavor to it. I'm going to do my own version of the Brad shaking.
Oh.
Okay.
Ooh. I think I just inhaled some hibiscus dust. I've never had flower dust down my throat before.
So I'm going to take a teaspoon of this to start.
Okay, teaspoon.
Good?
I like that.
Okay.
That's really nice.
Salt number 1, done. I think we should probably do the basil, parsley, lemon zest one next.
Okay.
Another 1/4 cup.
Okay.
There we go. Just dump the rest in.
Okay. So this is our basil, parsley, lemon zest salt.
This would be great on a Bloody Mary.
Ooh.
All right.
That seems like a lot.
Oh, wow.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay.
You actually can taste the herbs and the lemon.
Yeah?
Okay.
All right. There
Boom.
we go. Okay, we're gonna grind up the chili peppers.
We got to be really careful
We
here.
do actually.
Do I need a fire extinguisher?
I hope not.
Okay.
Hopefully it blows out here. Okay.
Okay.
That looks pretty good.
This is going to be the spicy one. That looks good. Okay.
Okay. I think you're gonna have to take off your mask to taste this one, Brad.
Oh, yeah. That's delicious.
More?
Maybe a tiny bit more. Maybe half the amount. You can definitely taste the spice.
About that much?
Yeah. This is going to bring the heat for sure.
Are you impressed, Brad?
I'm literally blown away. This is, for me, making cocktails, usually I take a risk and put a little bit of salt in a cocktail, but that's just normal, regular salt. Now adding another dynamic layer of flavor, I will be unstoppable.
Yes! I'm excited. So, what are you gonna make me next week?
I'm going to make you a spicy margarita with a little touch of mezcal because I miss Mexico.
Sounds good. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Enjoy your salt.
When is Jeremy back?
So that was a lot of fun. I feel like I have like a little, like my throat today though, from like choking on that hibiscus powder. That was a little much. So.
We are so glad that you guys joined us this Friday.
Yes.
This is the end of our show. We have the weekend coming up. Again, thank you all so much for your support and for sharing.
You.
Look, if you're enjoying the show and you've been enjoying it for some time and you have some friends that may be down or a little bit stressed out about life, please share our show. We want to make people feel better.
And we know you guys already do. So Jeremy's just guilt tripping people.
No, it's part of the process. We really do appreciate it.
Yes,
and,
we so do.
We all of our new viewers, thanks for joining us as well, and we hope we impressed you guys today.
Yes, and then next week we're going to be chatting with Claudia Terrones, right?
The Lompoc High School athletic director who is running 360 total miles to keep supporting her kids that can't go to school right now. So that should be a really, really awesome story.
And then we also are going to get to tour the Historical Society.
Finally, yes.
Finally. Yes. We're so excited. We are idiots. This whole time, I thought it was close. I thought it was downtown. I think I thought it was in the Lompoc Museum. It turns out it's right across the street from our house.
Across the street.
Because literally, we live across the street from the Span House, and that's where the Historical Society is based. So
thank you to
Ken Ostini.
Ken Ostini is going to give us a little tour and kind of show us around over there. And hopefully, we'll be able to start accessing some of the archives and learning so much about the history.
Yes.
So thank you to these incredible people at the Lompoc Valley Historical Society that for decades have been archiving and making sure that we don't forget how awesome our little town is.
People find things in their basements, maybe from their parents or grandparents, and then they open them up. They have no idea what to do with them, and then they drop them off there. And then these guys are going through it and trying to find out who's who and what's what from Lompoc. So it's pretty cool. So thank you again for joining us. If you have any questions, feel free to message us. If you have any show ideas, please message us. If you want to sell us your kids to use for the show, for little segments, we'd love to see them.
That was a joke.
But we hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe and healthy, and we will see you soon. Here is your moment of Zen.
Thank you, Jacob Cole.